it's Girlies versus TBR. I'm Mari.
I'm Alyssa.
Today we are going to talk about our wrap up for the past few months. We're going to talk about our TBR.
Hopeful TBR, maybe TBR. Our wrap ups will be monthly. It's just we didn't start our channel yet, so we wanted to catch you guys up on what we read this year.
Quite a bit, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, we're going to hit like a couple of points on the ones that we have read and maybe also the ones that we want to read, so not too in depth. Okay, so starting off with January, we both reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame leading up to Onyx Storm. I did the dramatized audio or the graphic audio. Did you also did that?
Yes.
Yeah. Those were so good.
Really immersive.
Yeah,
you could hear everything.
It's
like
graphic.
Side effects and that as well. Yeah, the narrators are really good.
Yeah, it's like a full cast narration and stuff. So you should check it out if you haven't tried graphic audio yet. But yeah, we read that leading up to reading Onyx Storm because we had to reread. That's for February though.
I read Onyx Storm in January. I ate it up in
what?
a day.
Was it January?
Yeah.
Why do I have it?
You didn't finish until February. I think.
That's why. Yeah.
So that was
January. Yeah.
I reread Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
Iron Flame. And then I finished Onyx Storm within like a day or two.
Oh, yeah. No, it took me a little bit longer. So I have it in February for me. But yeah, so good. We loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
After Onyx Storm, I was still on the high of needing dragons. I read A Fire in the Sky. This one was really good. I got recommended this by a friend. Alondra.
Yeah. Same friend. Yeah.
Alondra. It was very quick, fast-paced. It's romantasy. This follows Tamsin, the main character. She's a royal whipping girl, and that's technically seen as a royal sibling in a way, like part of the royal family. She's still treated as like a princess, but not by blood, and she just takes the beatings of the princesses, basically. The wedding night, she's like veiled, and like they're not supposed to tell him that, you know, she's not really a princess, and so they get married, and in their consummation night, he finds out that she's not a princess. That's all I gotta say with that. It's crazy.
Is that a series?
Yeah, it's gonna be a series.
Okay, cool.
The ending is so cool.
January, I did start Onyx Storm, but I think I did the thing again where I like take a break when reading it, and so I didn't finish until February. I did listen to Blood of Hercules because I was seeing so many things about this online. This is one of those ones where I went into it without reading the synopsis, and like maybe I should have read the synopsis because it's like the whole time she basically like figures out that she has like magical powers kind of thing, right? Because she's Blood of Hercules. Right. So she basically has to go through, it's like kind of like a trials thing. And I didn't think she'd be going through trials like through the entire book, but basically she is. And
the entire book?
Yeah.
The entire book.
The entire book.
Okay.
The entire book. I don't really know. I still can't really decide on how I feel about this. Like I did listen to the whole audiobook. I think I would listen to the second book just because I kind of want to know where it's even going. There is like an implied slightly getting romantic relationship with two of the guys who are like kind of like her mentors at the trial school thing. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. The other thing is like, how many times do they need to mention that she lives in a cardboard box in this book? Like, literally so many times. Like, literally in a cardboard box. And she's, like, going through trials the whole time. This art got me, too.
That's pretty.
I know. She doesn't look like this for the entire goddamn book. She always says how she's, like, covered in mud. She's so dirty. They can't shower. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, I don't know. I'm, like, a little confused. I think I will listen to book 2, but it wasn't quite my favorite.
That's crazy because I have that on my TBR.
Yeah.
You're not making a case for it.
I'm sorry. You should still read it so that I can talk to you about it.
I'm going to read about a girl in a cardboard box. Okay.
Yeah.
My next one for January is this massive.
That's chunky.
It's chunky one.
Yep.
Okay. Priory of the Orange Tree. Samantha Shannon. I've had this for, I want to say 2 years. It's been on my shelf for 2 years. It is so worth it. All I could say about it is There's 2 POVs that we follow, East and West, and it's kind of like TOG. Like, you know, Kingdom of Ash vibe, where like they all come together and they fight towards one thing. That's how the ending is, and it's sapphic love.
Yay.
It's worth it. I haven't read the prequel to this.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I want to like read eventually.
I ate it up.
Yeah, you really did.
It was fast.
You were like, I'm reading this, like I'm starting it, and then it was like,
I finished it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's so good. World building is excellent, and it has dragons. Not so much as A Fire in the Sky and Onyx Storm, but they're important in the story.
My last one for January is Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson.
So good.
We love Lana. You already know we love Lana. Yeah, this one was great. I definitely liked the whole like monster aspect. This is like her first monster romance. She did Fake Mate, where it was a kind of like a dip into Omegaverse a little bit, but this is her first like actual monster romance. He turns into the Loch Ness Monster,
which I know a lot of people had mixed feelings on it because they say Nessie is a woman.
Yeah.
But
this is fake.
Mind.
It's fake. It's fictional. Okay, so if she wants to write Nessie as a man, she can do whatever the fuck she wants. Don't come for my girl Lana. I love all her characters, and she always has a good amount, really great spicy scenes, and like the actual story too. So yeah, we will read anything that she writes. We've already said that multiple times.
February. Oh, what a roller coaster February was for me. I still was on the high of fantasy. After reading Priory of the Orange Tree. So I decided to start When the Moon Hatched. Yeah, that's where I stopped. But yeah, I stopped page 172, chapter 30. That's how far I got.
Chapter 30?
Yeah.
At page 172?
Yeah.
Are those short chapters? Okay.
Very
I was like, wait a second. Something's not adding up.
I wanted to keep going, but I couldn't get into it. The writing was too distracting for me. I feel like she was trying to write very eloquently, describe the scenery and stuff, like too pretty. I don't know how else to explain it.
Like too flowery.
Yeah, and so I just couldn't get into it. I really tried, but I couldn't, so I stopped. And then I started the Half King on audio. I got pretty far, and then I stopped again. Nothing to do with the plot. I just stopped because Scythe and Sparrow came out. But because we wanted to do a book chats, I also stopped this so that I could start it when we got closer to do the book chats because I didn't want to forget.
Yeah, because I'm a little bit of a slower reader than
so I stopped this, but I didn't go back to this one. And I haven't since then, and I don't think I will. It's a good story, but not enough for me to go back to it anytime soon. So I guess you could say that I DNF'd both of them.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not going back to it at all. And that's my start of February.
Yeah.
Kind of rocky.
It was a little chaotic for you.
It was.
Yeah. I finished Onyx Storm in February. It took me a little bit longer. I mean, when I say a little bit longer, I think it took me like a week and a half, 2 weeks or something. I decided to listen to an author that I have had on my shelf for a while. And so that was Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. The one that came out first was Forget Me Not, and I was trying to find the audio for that, and I couldn't find the audio on whatever platform I actually had hours on. Okay, so listen, it's probably on something, but I did not have hours at the moment. And then I did have hours for whatever this one was on, which I think was Spotify. So I just decided to listen to this one first because I had been seeing a lot of things about this online. A lot of people liked it. I had Forget Me Not, so I was like, let me listen to this one. Wow. Okay, if you want romance, it's just like a good romance book, okay? They're both musicians. They're like composing music together.
That sounds really cute.
Like it's like sensual, okay?
Yeah, I haven't read this one.
Yeah, it's just like it's romantic If you want a good romantic contemporary like book, this is so good. I really, really loved it. So I'm excited to get into her other books. She has Rose and Chains coming out. I'm really excited for Rose and Chains as well. But yeah, this one was literally so good. Just read it. Just read it.
You just went to go see her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so we did go. I totally forgot about that. I did go with another one of our friends that I made read this book, like forced her to read it. I was like, someone else needs to read it. Alondra, hi again. Her and I went to the Barnes & Noble Union Square event, the signing line with Julie Soto, and that was really, really fun. So that was my first time, like, meeting her. But yeah, that was so fun. And then I got her to sign my books.
Yeah, Alyssa got me a signed one.
Yes, because you're going to read it.
So, after not finishing 3 books.
Yeah.
3. I listened to Hollow Heathens. I don't have the physical copy. I am going to order it though because I really enjoyed this one. This one is a dark romance. Has a really good mystery behind it. There's magical elements, so like witches. She goes to that small town because her grandfather is dying. She needs to go take care of him. He didn't ask, but she was like, you know, it's my last living relative, so I kind of want to. And then that's where she meets the masked men. It's like a little coven type thing. The premise is basically the masked men, like, they cannot take off their masks because that person will see their worst fear and they could die from that.
Interesting.
And they could also see their worst fear if they look at themselves in the mirror. And I was like, I have to read this.
Yeah.
Audio was amazing. Finally finished a book.
Yeah.
In February. That
sounds good too.
That's good. The mystery is good because there is something happening in the small town. A lot of people are dying.
Next in February, I did The Plus One by Maisie Eddings. I read the first 2 in this series a while back, and then I had this one just like kind of still on my shelf. And again, I was looking for another audiobook, so I did this on audio. And then I was like, oh, yeah, like, I'll do that one because I haven't finished the A Brush with Love series yet. So number 1 is A Brush with Love, and then it's Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake, and then it's The Plus One. And they're all interconnected standalones. This is, again, the series that has neurodivergent representation throughout the whole series here. Honestly, I think most of her books have neurodivergent representation. I think that's, like, really cool to see. This one was so good. He's like such a soft boy. Yeah. Yeah.
We love shop boys.
Yeah. And she is, like, a therapist. And he was a doctor who signed up in a program to go to other, like, countries and places that have conflict, be a doctor in those, and he just saw a lot of stuff that was traumatizing, so he's dealing with PTSD, and she is a therapist, trying not to be his therapist, but trying to be his friend, but also, like, she kind of knows what's going on. So it's just, like, yeah, it's really good, and he's kind of, like, grappling with the fact that he decided to sign up for this program not to help people, necessarily, but mainly so that he wouldn't have student loans.
Oh, okay, I see.
But so he's kind of like having a hard time with that as well. But yeah, this whole series was just so good. It's like real people with real problems, and I love these characters so much.
My next read that I did other terrors. I like sprinkling in horror in my TBR just because it's a real palate cleanser. Like, it's not smut.
Yeah.
It's not fantasy. It's not romantasy. It's a completely different genre. And, like, yeah, I like to use that as, like, a brain reset. So this helped me a lot, especially with all the fantasy I was trying to read.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a break. Hollow Heathens was also a palate cleanser for me, too, just because of the mystery aspect. But this one is short stories. It's an inclusive anthology, so there's a lot of people of color and queer authors. There's so many good ones. I actually listened to this on Spotify because I had my hours. And I was like, I kind of want to get spooked. So I listened to this mostly at night. And I shouldn't have because there's a lot of creepy terrors. One of my favorite things about this is when you open it, the dedication, it says, "For all those who have ever been made to feel other out there, we see you and celebrate your otherness."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So I think it's really disturbing because most of it is just like everyday things.
Yeah.
That can become horrifying.
Yeah. And
there are some mythological creatures in here, and I I don't know. It's a lot of good stuff. So
Yeah.
if you like horror, I would definitely say check this one out.
Next for February, after the +1, I kept going with Maisie Eddings and I listened to Late Bloomer. I did mention in another video that I listened to it was on audio. I listened to my first sapphic romance and I had to DNF it. I didn't like it.
That hurt me.
And then I already had this on my shelf because I love Maisie Eddings so much. And I was like, okay, Maisie Eddings will not do me wrong with this. And so I did listen to this one. This is like, it's so cute, guys. Like, it's so
The cover
good.
is really cute.
Yeah, I know. The cover is amazing. So it starts out by following Opal, and she wins the lottery. And she's like, I need to figure out what I want to do with my life. Like, I love to do art. She was currently working, I think it was like at a coffee shop or something. She wasn't there for very long. And then so she finds an ad for a flower farm. And she's like, I want that. Like, I want a house. I want to work on a flower farm and like do her art on a flower farm with this like very scenic, scenery around her. Scenic scenery. So she buys the flower farm. She goes and arrives at the flower farm to be like, hi, this is my flower farm. Pepper is there. And Pepper is like, this is my flower farm.
Oh.
I live here.
Oh.
Yeah, chaos kind of ensues. Basically, Pepper's mom is no good, and she kind of sold the flower farm right out from under her without saying anything. And it was, it was Pepper's aunt that, like, owned and operated the flower farm who passed, and they couldn't find the will for the longest time. So her mom stepped in and was like, I'm going to sell this. And so they sell it. Opal is, like, trying to move in. What do you know? There's nowhere else to, live on the flower farm. So they got to live in the same house. And then there's a whole, like, flower competition going on. Like, it's just, like, such a cute setting, honestly. They're, like, literally trying to, like, live in the same house, like, as strangers. Thank you, Maisie, for redeeming me.
My last two for February. I am going to talk about both of these simultaneously because I had a day off from work and I listened to both of them the same day.
That's crazy.
Same day. Yeah, I was on something. I don't know. Cressley Cole, A Hunger Like No Other. Alyssa told me to read this one.
Yeah.
And The Empress by Kristen Cass. I listened to both of these. That's how I was able to read both. And I do speed up my audio.
I don't.
Because I cannot listen to, slow narration. I have to, conversational. I believe I read A Hunger Like No Other first and then The Empress. This one is really good. I enjoyed it. So the funny thing is, I listened to it while reading it.
I listened to it. I didn't have the physical copy yet.
Yeah, so you could see all the changes that they did, like the publisher did. So the physical copy is more up to date.
Yeah.
With certain things.
Yeah.
The audio, not so much.
Yeah. Because when I listened to the audio, I was like, you have to understand. I was like, this is such a great book. And I was like, you have to understand, it's very early 2000s vibes. Because of the things that they kept in the audio. And then they took those out in the physical.
Yeah, I was reading it while listening to it. And I was like, I had to, like, stop. No, that's not what the audio just said. Yeah. Those things in the audio were very much 2000.
They were, like, dated a little bit, yeah.
There was one that I remember.
She was like, oh, those little whores.
Yeah, and it's not in this at all.
It was like she was talking about, like, nymphs or something.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, those little whores. They're always, like, little whores. And
so
then
I thought
they, like, didn't
funny.
put that in there.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, but it's not in here. So
Yeah.
there's quite a few moments like that where the audio and the book is just different. Otherwise, I enjoyed it. There's werewolf, vampires, and Valkyries.
There's, so many different magical creatures that they just call, like, the lore. But it mainly follows, it'll follow different kind of families. The main family is the Valkyries that live in a giant mansion in New Orleans. Yeah, and so it mainly follows, like, each book will follow a different, like, Valkyrie kind of sister who all have different magical talents and stuff. And in the first one, she falls in love with a werewolf.
Yeah, I only read the first one so far.
Yeah. I listened to the first one and the novella and then book 2 so far.
Mm-hmm.
And then these started to come out and I was like, I'm gonna buy them and read the copies too.
Yeah.
So I would say that these are really good if you are like reading a bunch of like romantasy, like old school romantasy, and you kind of want like something a little different, like a little bit of a break from that, because it is like modern world. It's like a little urban fantasy, I guess, but not, it's more like fantasy but takes place in our modern times. So I would say like this is definitely, it has some of those romantasy elements, but it's like a little updated. I think it's a good like little break if you're looking for something to read kind of in between classic romantasy.
Yeah. And then The Empress, this actually is set in a world of like tarot. So this one follows like the Kingdom of Pentacles. It seems like
I don't know what that is.
Pentacles is like the star one in tarot.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, the little coins. Does read as a standalone. I don't know if Kristen Cass plans to make it a series with different characters. I really enjoyed it. So basically at the beginning, she's having a really bad week. One example, she shows up to her boyfriend's place deciding to remove her clothes to make it spicy. He opens the door and there's another girl in the apartment with him.
Rude.
And then something else happens at work, and so she's like having a really bad time. Then she has a tarot card and teleports her into like medieval times. And everybody's like, she's a witch, she's a witch. She's like, where's the Wi-Fi, girl? No. No. So it's funny. I think it's funny, and the cover was very pretty. That's why I did that.
See, I picked that up and then I put it back, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe I should pick it up again. On to March, we both started and read Scythe and Sparrow, which is the 3rd book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. So good.
So good.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. If you
so
like...
spicy.
Yeah.
So murdery.
So eyeball-y.
Ooh. So cotton candy. I went back to this because I did start in February, but because... you know, we'll be doing a book chat. Yeah. I think that'll be up by the time this one goes up. And I finished it pretty quickly just because it was so funny.
Yeah.
And amazing.
Yeah. So. If you like dark romance, definitely give this series a try. And if you like some comedy, like comedic dark romance, this is like a great series for that.
The trigger warnings page is so long and it goes on to the other side. So if that alone gets you to read it,
you got problems. But we do too, so it's fine. Bren Weaver, like I think this was her first like series that she wrote. That's crazy to me to like come right out of the gate with Butcher and Blackbird. Girl, love that for you. So while I was reading Scythe and Sparrow, I needed an audiobook to also listen to, of course. I have a coworker who really likes this author, Alona Andrews, and she also really liked Cressley Cole. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to give another one of her authors a try. Wow. Okay. The first book is Burn for me. It is more urban fantasy, I will say. It is, again, set in modern times. And it's set in, like, Houston, Texas.
Random.
Yeah, I know. It is so random. And basically, there's a whole bunch of different, like, families who are magical families. They're called houses. There's, like, house politics involved. But it follows Nevada Baylor, who is a PI, who only has, like, a little bit of magic because she can, like, kind of just tell when people are lying or not lying. And so she uses that as a PI. And then she kind of gets entrenched in, like, a crazy case and thrown into the magical, you know, houses of Houston and has to kind of figure it out. And maybe she is hiding something about her powers.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's so good. So there is like an overarching like kind of mystery. They're trying to figure out who is like coordinating all of this, but in each book, the first 3 are on Nevada. In each book, they are like fighting one person that gets them closer and closer to like the head guy that is like coordinating all this stuff. Literally so good. Like it's once you figure out their whole world, they start making jokes and stuff that you like finally get. It's like, it's so funny it like caught me off guard how funny some of the like little quips are and stuff. Like get to learn all about Nevada's family. She has 2 sisters, 2 cousins, her mom, her grandma. They all live in a warehouse because they run their business out of a warehouse. Yeah. Every time she comes across like these dangerous men, her grandma's like, well, did you get a picture of him? Can you email me the picture of that crazy guy you're dealing with? Because he's hot.
That is
kills
so
me.
funny.
It kills me. Alana Andrews is a husband and wife writing team, actually.
Like Tiffany Roberts.
Yeah.
That's cool. My next read, Trial of the Sun Queen. So I actually read this while also reading I Got Abducted by Aliens. I kept going back and forth between them.
Yeah.
Trial of the Sun Queen, if you haven't heard about it, it's 4 books. The series is completed, so if, you didn't want to wait for anything to come out, it is done. Basically, how I would explain this is Bachelorette, the show. How the one guy dates, like, several women at the same time. But, like, they fight to the death. To be queen, and get married to the king. Like, they're supposed to get mated. Like, whoever wins. Basically, she starts out in a slave camp. So it is giving much, like, the start of TOG, where she's like in that.
Selena Sardathian.
Yeah. And then she gets pulled out, thrown into this random competition. She's like, why am I here? She's like in this palace and she's like, I don't even know what's going on. She might be hiding a secret on who she actually is. What is her identity?
Interesting.
What's happening? Yeah. And like she's like the only human against 9 fae. Yeah. For this competition.
Okay, yeah, I need to read that.
Yeah, it's really good. And right now, I'm still currently reading the series. But I finished book 1 and 2, which book 2 is this one. So yeah, I'm on book 3 right now.
Nice.
So good.
Of course, like I just continue the series. My next one is the White Hot one in the Nevada Baylor series. I mean, I think I said everything I need to say, honestly. I don't want to like say more and like spoil it because I do want you to read it. And like I want all of you guys to read it. Things ramp up in this one and then you start to like figure out more about her family and like her family's secrets as well. I would say this one is, I didn't mention this for the first one, it's a little bit of a slow burn. The couple takes a while to get together, really. They're kind of dancing around each other for a while. Like, it's not super, super spicy. It's good if you want to, like, turn off your brain and just have a whole bunch of action.
Gotcha.
And, like, catch the funny quips that are throughout the book. But yeah, this one was really, really good too.
The next one, I Got Abducted by Aliens, and now I'm trapped in a rom-com.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a book chats, and it's very quick, hilarious, and chaotic.
Chaotic, absurd. You'll see more in the book chat. You have our full review there. But yeah, this was a great time. Yeah. A great spicy time. A alien spicy romance.
We're not going to say any more of that.
This was my first Kimberly Lemmings, and I enjoyed it.
I read The Mean Mishaps. It was really good. And then my last one for March is 9-Month Contract. I saw this at the bookstore, new release, and it just, I picked it up because I was like, oh, that's a cute cover.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cute. Go to the back. Finally, reading the synopsis.
Yeah.
And all I had to read was help wanted, grumpy mountain man seeks baby mama. That's all. That's all I read.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, I'm going to buy that.
I'm surprised that got you because it's contemporary romance.
I know, but it's just, so for me, with contemporary romance, there has to be something either different or funny. Paranormal, just I don't know, it has to be like there has to be an otherness to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know, something that will keep me on my toes. And it was hilarious. All I gotta say is ranch cups.
I don't know what that is because I haven't read it yet, but that's hilarious.
Ranch cups.
I don't know.
That's all I gotta say.
Is that something dirty or no?
Could be.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know. There's this group of brothers who live on this mountain, and
I'm already sold. Yep. Check.
There's one of them that wants to be a dad. He's like, well, I'm gonna go to this clinic and see if he could get like a surrogate. They're not really being that helpful, and so his niece kind of gets involved. She's 18. She's like, well, you know what, I'm gonna go and find you a surrogate. Why not?
Yeah.
She bumps into Trista, which is the main character, and Trista's like, well, I need money because she wants to start a animal farm because she's really into like the, you know, nonprofit stuff with animals. The niece bumps into her and she's like, well, do you want to be a surrogate, you know, for my uncle? Yeah, it's a fun ride. And yeah, there's a lot of steamy spiciness. And I just really like the journey on how they come together, and that involves ranch cups.
Those were all the books that we read from January to March. I am currently reading book 3 of the Ilona Andrews series. Well, I'm listening to it. That one is Wildfire, so that's a kind of a conclusion to that like part of that trilogy. And then I think it continues, but it goes on to like her sister's stories and stuff like that.
Okay.
Are you currently reading anything?
Yeah, I'm currently reading 2 books.
A freaking overachiever over here.
Okay. I'm like hopping from one to the other. I actually really enjoy that. I used to only read 1 book at a time. And I'm like, no, because like now I could read and have different vibes going on.
Yeah.
So like I can go back and forth. So I am reading book 3 of Trial of the Sun Queen series, or the Artifacts of Oranos. So far it's really good. So I already read book 1 and 2 before, and I had to reread. This one, I don't know what's going to happen. Like this is, I'm going into the territory of like finally finishing the series. So book 3 and 4, that's going to be, I don't know what's happening, but so far it's a slow burn for the main characters.
Yeah.
She doesn't want it.
Oh.
She doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Just because of her trauma that she's had. So right now, they're fighting it right now, and it's already book 3.
Yeah.
So it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
Other book I'm reading is Immortal Dark. I've seen this everywhere. It's YA. It is romantasy. I would say it's like dark academia with vampires.
That's what I've been mainly seeing about it.
Yeah. So basically she, without spoilers, she has a sister that she's trying to look for, and she believes that this society of vampires basically took her. And so she's trying to find where her sister is, who's responsible, like, is her sister still alive or not? She's actually in this university, like she got accepted, and she's like, I gotta find answers. So yeah, so far it's really good.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Gothicana with like the whole university and like the dark setting. Yeah, I am really enjoying it. I'm actually listening to this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
so pretty.
Yeah, I have this one too, and after I finished Gothicana, I like was very into like the gothic and stuff, and then I almost went into this one as well. So I'm happy to hear that you're like enjoying it, because I also want to read it.
Yeah, I'm not too far in this one and this one, because like I literally just started it these past few days, but I'm really, really having a fun time.
And then we'll hear what you think next month.
Yes.
Yay.
So this segment of the video is our rough TBR for the next month.
Yeah, like a guesstimate.
We're mood readers. We jump around. So we're going to say a few titles of what we think we'll read, and we'll see next month if we do.
But who knows? Who knows what will happen?
My TBR after I finish book 3 is the last installment of the series Artifacts of Oranos, Tale of the Heart Queen. I'm really excited about this. It's a thick one.
Yeah. I was gonna say, they get longer and longer.
I'm just excited to see the main character's journey. Laura's my girl. I freaking love her. Okay. And see how badass she becomes, because this is a story of revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, she's taking revenge.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. For her and her people.
Yeah.
And her family.
As she should.
Exactly. So I'm really excited to finish this series.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for you.
I know. I know. I've been holding off on the series. And when we got book 4, I don't know why I didn't start it right away. I'm here now.
Yeah.
So
you know what I wanted to say about the series too is I feel like it got a lot of hype after Katherine, I think it was Katherine Heigl posted about it on TikTok too. She was like obsessed with it. So that's like super exciting to see like someone big talk about it too. So like a lot of other people can find it, because I don't know how like popular it is in general, but it really does sound really good. This is probably not going to be the order I'll be reading these in, but you know, first one I'm going to talk about is Fan Service by Rosie Danon. I read, I think, almost all of her other books. I really liked Do Your Worst. That one was really cute. A curse breaker goes to a castle in Scotland to break the curse on the castle. She has to meet the archaeologist that's there that's like, curses don't exist. And she's like, oh, really? Yeah. That one is really good. Fan Service. Let's see. I think I've heard a little bit about this, but I have not read the back, but I'm going to try to give you a synopsis anyway. He was the main actor in a werewolf show, and she was a very big fan of the werewolf show. Now he's turning into an actual werewolf, and she's the only one that maybe can help him or understands.
That sounds so interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Am I gonna have to get this?
Yeah, you are. It's werewolves.
Paranormal rom-com. Yeah,
get it.
It's up my alley.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think she runs like an online fan forum. Yeah, I know. She's laughing at the like werewolf in the microphone. I do like Rosie Danon's books. They are spicy. The first one she did was The Roommate. That one, he's a
corn star.
He's a corn star. They end up living in the same like apartment together because she needs to like go crash with her brother. Her brother's like, yeah, it's fine. And her brother's like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving, but my friend is crashing here too. And she's seen his videos. Have you not read that one?
No!
Okay, girl, get on it.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to go out and buy all
her
books.
But I'm very excited for this. I love paranormal romance. So I'm probably going to read that really soon.
Yeah,
I say.
Have to.
And then who knows?
My next one. This one.
Mm-hmm.
This one. I don't know what this is about. I don't know what this is about.
Yeah. I don't think you're supposed to.
You're not supposed to. The author has said it.
Yeah, she has an author's note.
About this book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm told it's best to go into this book with absolutely no knowledge of its contents. As such, you'll find no blurb or summary here. Instead, I will leave you with some sincere advice. Buckle up. The Split or Swallow series is unlike anything you've ever read before, and you may not read anything like it ever again. Say goodbye to the person you were before this book, and once you've read it, hand it to your friends so they can read it too.
Yeah.
I really liked this edge. At first, I thought it said spit or swallow when I read that. And it's because of the basilisk. I like anything paranormal, but I don't know anything about this. Our friend read it. Mm-hmm. She really enjoyed it. Yeah. She was also like...
She was like, this is like
oh my
crazy book.
Yeah. So I'm excited to read this. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to wait until the audio comes out. Mm-hmm. I did see March 20th. I might be wrong. I just did some research on the audio, and it's not even available in my location. So Audible, get on it. What are you waiting for? Like, you give me a sample, you tease me, and I can't even listen to it. But if not, I'm going to just read this physical copy. But yeah, I just need smut. I'm excited to be a changed person after this book. So yeah, that author's note really grabbed me when I read it. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's also on my like running TBR. Mm-hmm. I think because of the length, I didn't pick it for my like upcoming months because the length kind of got me a little bit. And I have it physical copy, and like when I own them physically, I like try to force myself to read it physically, which I need to just get over that, honestly. It's not on my like super upcoming TBR, but I am definitely excited to read that too. Yeah, it was a different cover. I'll put the original cover up here. It wasn't called Kiss of the Basilisk, was it? No, it was called Split or Swallow. Yeah. Yeah. They had to change it, I guess, for the pro-clutching people in traditional publishing. Because I haven't read like I've read smut, but like I want filthy, and I feel like this is filthy. Yeah, so I'm excited about this. No judgment here. Nope. Next, I also have 9-month contract. Yeah, this is like right up my alley for sure. And I saw this and I was like, God, it's so freaking cute. And I was like, I need to stop buying things. And then y'all read it and
you're
gonna
were like it.
Yeah, I know. And so I was like, okay, fine. So I have it. I kind of feel like I'm on a contemporary romance, like urban fantasy, paranormal kind of kick right now. I'm not really in like a high fantasy place at the moment. So I think like this is definitely going to be up my alley for me reading it like very soon. So super excited for that. And I think it's going to be an interconnected standalone series.
I believe so too.
Yeah, it says a Mountain Men matchmaker novel.
Yeah, there's a few other brothers that we
get
introduced to. There's a couple that they definitely, I think, is going to be the next one. Enigma. I'm gonna wait until this comes out in audiobook because I did like Gothicana's audio. But yeah, we have the arc for it. Could have read it by now, but I think I'm gonna wait. I really, really enjoyed Gothicana. I know there's people who have mixed feelings on this author. Yeah. It's dark academia, spicy. Gothic romance is my like guilty pleasure. Yeah, I love Gothic romance.
It's like kind of connected.
Yeah, it is dark romance. I don't know anything about this one.
I think I read a synopsis, so I think it's like a couple that we hear about in Gothicana, but I think it like takes place way before Gothicana.
Gotcha.
I could be like absolutely wrong.
We just read books.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited to read this one too, though. But yeah, I haven't started it yet either. But I really enjoyed Gothicana. That was one that I was kind of on the fence about, and then you were like, no, you need to read it. And I was like, okay, bet.
Yeah, and I'm sure the mystery is going to be really good in this one.
Yeah, that's also what I really liked about Gothicana. Next, I have Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. I have read almost all of Allie's other books. She's not my, like, super favorite author, but I keep reading her books. You know what I mean? Like, they're good. I know, they're like good if you need to, like, read a good romance story where you know it's going to be pretty predictable. You know that the male main character fell for the female main character way before, and, like, she's clueless.
I love that.
That's, like, almost every one of her books. This one I do think is a little bit different. I know there's some kink exploration in here, which some of the more traditional romance readers were kind of up in arms about, but we read crazy stuff here. We're not worried about it. It has really cute, straight edges. They're both swimmers in college or divers or something like that.
I heard a lot of people like that one.
Yeah, and then it has, like, really cool art on both sides. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna like this one.
I've only ever read one, and it's Bride.
I know, and I do like, you know what? I love that Bride is letting Allie Hazelwood go write, like, other things. Like, I feel like, is a good intro to a lot of, like, other subgenres. Yeah, like, world. Bride was, like, a little bit of, like, Omegaverse, a little bit of werewolves. This is, like, a little bit of kinky. And then she has another one coming out that's, like, a little bit of an age gap. So I'm like, she's a good, like, beginner for people to get into others.
Well, a lot of contemporary readers were like, oh my god, what is knotting? Yeah. Or, like, what is this and what is that? Yeah. And I'm like, this is, like, the lightest, like, fluffiest compared to what paranormal romance could be. Yeah. Like, how smutty it could be. The top of the iceberg when it comes to that. So I do think she is a really good beginner.
Yeah. And I enjoy her stuff so far. I think there's only one that I haven't read, which is Not in Love. So, like, I will eventually read that one too. I think my favorites from her so far were Love Theoretically, the novella collection, which is Love to Loathe You, where it's, like, 3 different novellas, because they're short, and so the spice gets right to the point for those. So if you're like, she's too much of a slow burn for me or something, like, try the novellas and see what you think. I'm really excited for this one, though. Continuing my contemporary romance kick.
And then my next one is Enchantra. This is the same author that did Phantasma. I enjoyed Phantasma a lot. That one was like Caraval, but, like, adult version. Like, she is trying to find her sister. She goes into this competition and essentially she's trying to find her sister. It's like levels, basically, that she has to pass to then win. There's a ghost that helps her. Yeah. It's romance there. Romance there. So then I really enjoyed it. It's Gothic romance as well. I need to read Enchantra. And I know I'm going to like it. I think it's her sister's story.
Yeah, I've heard it's interconnected standalone, so, like, if you want kind of, like, a standalone fantasy, like, romantic fantasy,
you could read it by, like, just that one. You don't have to read Enchantra.
Kind of cool that they're doing it, like, interconnected standalone, but for fantasy.
The cover's so pretty.
Yeah, the covers are really pretty.
I'm also really, like, the series is killing me. Having to read series after series, it's like, And especially if they're not finished.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I like taking breaks and just reading standalones.
Yeah.
That I don't have to continue.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm on like urban fantasy /
just, like,
contemporary.
standalones,
Yeah. And they're like quick. Like you don't really need to like think about them that much. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of why like I'm in that place right now. I have on my list is Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. I have not read it yet. I've heard great things about it. I mean, I've heard mixed things, I guess, about it. I think it is more like traditional romantic-y kind of thing. I'm a little intimidated by how like long it is, just because I have like a short I'm not that intimidated by how long it is. I read Kingdom of Ash like
multiple times.
Yeah. My attention span right now is intimidated by how long this is. I think I have not come across any spoilers yet.
Me either.
I want to keep it like that, so
Me
I
too.
think I will try to read it kind of soon.
I also have Quicksilver on my TBR.
Yeah.
We might, if you're interested, do a book chat on Quicksilver.
Who knows?
I don't know. Alyssa reads it, then I will most likely read it at the same time. I'll probably read other things.
Yeah.
It just depends on if you do read it, because again, this is a very big if.
I'm just kind of intimidated. I don't know. So many people love it.
I've seen a lot of like positive more than negative.
Yeah, me too.
Like a lot of positive.
Yeah.
So
I think it already got picked up for like a movie or TV series.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, book 2 comes out this year, right?
Get that bag. I think so.
I have Wild and Wrangled. We are actually going to go to the Lila event.
Yeah.
At the Ripped Bodice.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I really, really love Lila Sage.
Yeah.
Like we both do.
Yeah. As a person and as an author.
Yeah, she's just so funny.
Yeah.
She's so funny. And the stories are so well written that like they're not long whatsoever.
Yeah.
But man, does it hook you. Like,
yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah. It's like they're short, but at the end you don't feel like it needed to be longer at all. Like she's really good at like giving you the story, giving you really well-rounded characters, giving you some good spice, and like wrapping up the story in like a very quick read. Who doesn't love cowboys?
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I never read Cowboy.
I didn't either. She was my first cowboy romance.
And I was like, I don't need to move to the Midwest, like whatsoever.
No, we don't.
But why do I want to after reading this?
I know.
We're both excited about this
it's
one.
Dusty and Cam. Okay, like he's got a slutty little tattoo of her initial on his neck. Give it to me now, Lila. I need it right now. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And then I'm so excited for the event too. We have been to every event she has had for this series at the Ripped Bodice. And then this is going to be the last one in the Meadowlark series. So it's like kind of bittersweet. But I'm super excited. Last time she remembered us.
Yeah, it was... I was surprised.
Yeah.
Just because, like, authors do meet and greets all the
they
time.
They meet so many people.
Yeah.
And we kind of went up as a group. And she was like, oh, no, yeah, I remember you guys.
Yeah, I was
fucking
shocked.
dead.
I was like...
I turned around and I was like, gosh, she remembered us.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
like
Lila.
fangirling a little bit. Yeah. I love her. She's so sweet. I'm probably going to like read that literally so fucking fast.
Immediately. Like,
yeah.
Drop everything.
Every single one of hers, after Done and Dusted for me, I have read immediately after it's come out. Because you know what? I do like reading them before the event. So that gives me like literally like 2 or 3 days.
Who's interviewing her at the Ripped Bodice? It's not BK Borison again.
Her and BK Borison was like, they're so
funny.
So good together. And then last time she had Tessa Bailey. Next I have Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. So I read Not Another Love Song. And I was like, wow, I really, really like her writing. So yeah, I need to read Forget Me Not. I'm probably going to read the physical copy of this just because Not Another Love Song was just so romantic that I'm like, I feel like I need to highlight some shit in this. You know what I mean? And these are kind of interconnected because this couple is in Not Another Love Song, like very vaguely. She is a wedding planner and he is a very reluctant flower shop owner. Who does,
that's cute.
Yeah, so he does like flower arranging for weddings. Neither of them has gotten over what happened 2 years ago. So yeah, it is like second chance romance. Cute. I've had this one for a while because like, look at that cover. Tell me they don't look hot. Julie Soto was so sweet too at the signing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll vibe it out.
Yeah.
We'll vibe it out. Heather Walter is coming out with a book in April. I don't know if I'm going to read it immediately or I'm definitely going to buy it. because I love her. But this is book 2. So the Witch Queen, she wrote the Crimson Crown, and she has written only duologies as far as I know.
Oh, is it only duology?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was going to be kind of a series.
I think it's a duology. I loved the Crimson Crown. But wait, I wait.
Yeah.
Like I buy it and then it's like, yeah, I'm going to read it.
I feel like that happens sometimes with your favorite authors too, because you're like, do I want to read it right away, or do I want to like wait and like savor it? Yeah. Hopeless by Elsie Silver. So I started the Chestnut Spring series, and then I made you read it, and then you finished it before I finished it.
I ate that series up.
Yeah, I did like books 1 through 4, and then I forget what happened. I think I did my Throne of Glass reread.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Something interrupted
that
you.
tracks, honestly. Yeah. I'm like kind of currently re-listening or listening for the first time to the audiobooks. So I did Flawless and Heartless on audio. So that's like getting me back into it. So I need to finish. I need to finish this one so that we can read the other series from her too. They're so good. They're so good on audio too, guys. So like, yeah, another cowboy one. I'm excited for Beau's story.
I really enjoyed this series a lot.
Yeah.
Favorites? Is it Reckless?
With Theo.
And
Winter.
then, Winter. And then Heartless.
Those are like my 2 as well. Reckless is a little bit higher for me. Which like is so funny because those are both like, they both have kids. I'm not a kid person.
Me either, but it's just, there's something about it.
There's something about a man handling his child well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I know Flawless is like, it's again the first one, so it's like always going to be one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But you know what? I know Powerless doesn't get a lot of love, but that one too is like, yeah, it's good.
That one's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah, me too.
There wasn't not like one that was bad.
The guy in Powerless though, I think his name's Jasper. Don't quote me on this. He's so like broody, and if you like a broody man, you know, that's definitely going to be like a good one for you too. And then my last one is A Fire in the Sky. I do think I'm going to read this one pretty soon because it is not that long, and you really enjoyed it. And so I think this is kind of like a good one to get me back into like romantasy because it's so short and so quick. Super excited for this one. Can we just talk about why is it blue? This gets me every time I look at this one. Like, the cover has orange. I mean, it has some blue. I don't know why they did blue sprayed edges. Unless it...
I mean, the font is it's like a light blue.
Yeah, kind of. It's like a silver blue. I don't know. I wish it had better sprayed edges.
I mean, it is a pop of color.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, I'm excited for this one.
It's fast-paced.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to get bored. Like, things happen quickly. Yeah. The ending is going to, like... You're going to be like... I was not expecting that in a good way.
The first line is, "It was a good day for a whipping."
Told you she gets beat.
Yeah. Jesus.
Another read that I'm going to do. Maybe. I don't know. Heavenly Bodies. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I haven't seen any spoilers or anything like that. It just sounds good. I actually read a little bit of the back, which is surprising.
Yeah. It
says a new romantasy series that blends Greek mythology and shadow magic.
Oh, I didn't know that.
With a tantalizing enemies to lovers romance that will rewrite the stars.
Okay.
So it's definitely, you know, fate. So I'm hoping it's good. I do get nervous because I did read 2 fantasy books, and I've heard a lot of good things about those 2, and I didn't really enjoy them.
Like on TikTok. I just bought that one too, so I'll probably wait until you start it
and see if I like it.
Yeah, but also, can I see real quick?
Yeah.
I was like, should I, like, I don't know if I should read this or not. Like, I don't know. Did you see the art in there?
I did. It's so pretty.
And then I saw that and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll buy it. I haven't like seen people talking about it that much, but I like have seen it a lot online, so.
It's like a celestial type of thing. So it really did catch my eye, like the cover. Yeah. So I was like, ooh, what is that? And so I just read that small little snippet. I didn't read the synopsis, so I really don't know. Yeah. What it even is about.
It's fine. Just know we'll figure it out when you read it. And then after you read it, I might read it. You let me know. Okay. My last one is continuing the Cressley Cole series. So I'm kind of following when they're re-releasing the covers. So as I mentioned, I did do Hunger Like No Other. And then the novella that kind of goes first is The Warlord Wants Forever. And then book 2, No Rest for the Wicked. That one is very, very interesting. Like she does like games in it, like trial games kind of thing. So it's like totally different from the first book. So I really like that about the series. So the next one that will be coming out soon is going to be Wicked Deeds on a Winter's Night. And I did kind of start the audio, and then I was like, wait, I need to do something else on audio. Obviously it's already out, like you can read it. I am definitely excited to get back into that series because it is like a 20-book series, by the way. Immortals After Dark is the series name.
Is this your first like big series?
Yeah.
You're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. Which I think the Alana Andrews one also has a whole bunch in it.
I think so.
Yeah. I think like the first 3 books of it are on one couple, one like person, and then it goes on to the other people and like her family and stuff.
I feel like you're like in a trajectory of like going to Patricia Briggs next.
I don't know,
because she talks about that one too.
Yeah,
Like
I know. It's like someone that we both know that likes a lot of these like, and not older fantasy authors, but kind of like
they've been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, like they have.
They're pretty much like they kind of like paved the way a little bit
for a lot of the like romantasy now. Like a lot of it I feel like is kind of early 2000s. Like when a lot of those shows were like on TV, and I think a lot of these books give those vibes where you're like, yeah, this is good. Like, is this the most amazing, eloquent story I've ever read? Not necessarily. Is it entertaining as hell? Yeah, that makes it become one of my favorites, honestly. So I am very excited to continue the Cressley Cole series, and all of these covers are chef's kiss fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep buying them.
Yeah, they're amazing.
All right, and that wraps up all of the tentative TBR for the next 2 months.
Stay tuned next month to see what we actually read from that list.
That's the video.
Going forward, it'll be shorter because we're gonna do it like every month. But you know, we had to catch y'all up to what we've been reading.
I hope you have added some of these to your TBR. Let us know down below if you have added one or you already have some of these on your TBR list.
Yeah, or if you've already read them, because some of them have been out.
No spoilers.
Oh yeah, no spoilers, please. If you spoil something for me, I will curse your family.
All right, bye!